Blackburn
Enterprises.
Thank you for coming to our channel. You could have been anywhere else, but you're here with me. Back with a new movie review. I'm JB.
I'm Ken.
And today we're going to be reviewing
Avatar: Way of the Water.
I thought you was going to forget the name, but yes. Yeah. Avatar: Way of the Water. This movie is directed by James Cameron. Might know from previous movies he's directed, such as
the first Avatar.
I knew you was going to do that. I knew you was going to do it. I knew you were going to do it. How about something like Terminator?
Oh, yeah, Terminator 2, yes.
Yes. The original Terminators. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into those actors and actresses. This movie is starring Sam Worthington. Might know him from previous movies such as?
He was actually in the Terminator something of Salvation.
Oh, okay. Look at you. Check out the big brain on Brad. Yes, he was in Terminator Salvation.
Yep.
Which I don't think James Cameron had anything to do with.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know, James Cameron was in the early ones. The classic
The ones with, okay.
Okay. Also starring this movie, we have Zoe Saldana.
Mm-hmm.
Might know her in previous movies such as?
She was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
My girl.
Yes, he's in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Alright. Also starring this movie, we have Kate Winslet. Might know her in previous movies such as? Come on, man. We went on our first date to go see that.
Oh, yeah. The Titanic.
Yes.
Yes, the
Titanic.
Titanic. I remember now.
No, sure you do. Okay. Also starring this movie, we have Stephen Lang. Might know him in previous movies such as?
We just watched him in well, he's in Don't Breathe, but we just watched him in another movie too.
Yes, Don't Breathe. I don't know what other movie you're talking about.
Maybe it was Avatar. But yeah.
Yeah, it's probably the first Avatar. But yes, he was in Don't Breathe.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was. All right. And there's a whole bunch of other actors and actresses. This has a boatload of people, and so we'll be here naming actors and actresses for days, but we won't do that. Let's go ahead and get into the plot.
So they pick up where they left off in the other Avatar movie. You know,
the first Avatar.
The first Avatar movie. Stephen Lang. You know, they killed him in the first one. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the first one, go watch it. And they lost their home, so they're all trying to find their way and make sense of life after the tragic events of the last movie.
Yeah, I think they're moving on, and pretty much, and as they're moving on, you know, Jake Sully rather, and Neytiri, they're moving on, you know, and one of the ways that they're moving on is by starting a family, and you know, as they're starting a family, you know, they take on new challenges, and that's obviously the case when you start a family. When you start a family, you know, you have to take into consideration a whole bunch of different things. You know, it's one way to look at situations, to look at life when it's just you or it's just you and your spouse. But when it's you and your spouse and you got kids to worry about, life can take on a whole new meaning. And so we pretty much follow Sully and Neytiri and see what their life is going to be like with these kids.
That's it.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into those likes.
It was beautiful. I wish it could have been, we could have saw it in 3D. We might go back and do that later on. But the graphics, I don't say graphics anymore. The cinematic experience was beautiful.
Yes, I mean, similar to like what the first Avatar did, you know what I'm saying? This pretty much does the same thing, and obviously, you know, he took a long time for this one to come out. And obviously, you could see that he took his time for a reason, and you seen the detail in the cinematography of the movie. Like I said, this is a gorgeous movie to look at. This is off top. Even if the movie is if everything else is trash, it's just a nice movie to look at. So it's definitely one of those movies that you want to have to look at, you know, on Blu-ray or Blu-ray 4K. You know, and have on your big nice TV to look at, which is similar to how the first Avatar was. And this is pretty much it follows the same steps. Any other likes?
Yes, I also like the fact that of course, it's called The Way of the Water.
Yeah, it's called The Way of the Water.
The way that movie was shot and filmed, like you can tell what was going on. There was no dark spots. Everything was crisp and clear and concise, and you could tell what was going on without having to guess. Like, what's happening right here? I really can't understand. I can't see what's happening.
That kind of goes in with your first line.
Yeah, it is. It's part of that.
This is a continuation.
Yeah. It is. It is. Absolutely.
Okay.
The action, though, too, on top of that, because I could see the action. I knew it was happening. It was very action-packed from the time it came on till then it got a little slow.
Was it action-packed from when it first came on?
Yeah, because they were...
I don't think it was action-packed when it first came on.
I thought they were doing stuff when it first came on.
No, not to my recollection. That's why I'm going to have to disagree with you, boss. Because the action, I feel like, came in...
It was the first...
In the second act and the third act. In the first act...
Remember?
I don't. In the first act,
that's how we.
This is I'm gonna go into my going to one of my dislikes, and I feel like the first act was with even okay. So here's it's two part in my dislikes. First part is this movie is long as crap.
Very long. Super long.
And I generally don't have a problem.
Super long.
I generally don't have a problem with long movies. But the first one was long. But I would say the first one didn't really seem the first one didn't seem as long, and I think this differed with it. I think you could definitely tell the length in this one. So it is long. So make sure you use the bathroom a couple of times before you go see this movie.
Make sure you well rested.
And then the second part is the first act. To me, the first act they flew by the first act, and there wasn't a lot of action. There was a lot of dialogue about. They used that first part to catch us up.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying on what Jake and Neytiri has been up to.
Okay.
What they've been doing. And obviously you can tell from the previews, and if not, you know what I'm saying, it's not that much of a spoiler to say, you know what I'm saying, they start a family. Mm-hmm. But even within that, a lot of things they kind of fly by. Mm-hmm. You know, there's not really a lot of explanation in certain things. They kind of just fly by. It's like, well, this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened, and now we're here.
Okay.
And so I think you said there's action. I feel like the majority of the action came in Act 2 and in Act 3. And Act 3 is to me is like the best. Is the best part of the movie. Yeah. Because of the things that take place, because the acting that takes place, because of so much at that point. I mean, it's a 3-hour movie, so you're invested at this point, and so what characters go through and things that take place, you're touched by certain things that happen. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Any likes, dislikes?
I dislike the slowness of the second act. Like sometimes it was really, really slow, and I almost fell asleep. I don't like when I almost fall asleep, but like you said, I think they did so much setting up, and they didn't really and it was unnecessary. If that makes sense.
I disagree. Why would you say it's unnecessary?
Because
to me, in the first act, what do we know?
In the first act, we already knew the why, so I think they kept reiterating some stuff that didn't have to be reiterated.
In the first, I don't agree, because I feel like. I mean, I understand he was tasked with achieving a lot, trying to accomplish a lot, but a lot of stuff to my opinion, they just flew by. Like they just it was kind of like explaining. It wasn't long enough, and so they was just like, this one little sentence is gonna explain this, and then you're supposed to be okay with it, and then we're gonna move past that. That's what I feel like. I guess we're disagreeing on that.
Yeah.
Any other likes, dislikes, or?
I like when animals are brought into movies, which we know that happened in the first Avatar, and they're useful and they make sense. I like that part. I like that too.
So you like animals?
I like animals that make sense in movies, not just randomly thrown in there. You like what's your purpose?
Sounds to me like she likes animals.
A dislike, though, is that some of the parts seem like they pull, which is what people do. I don't like when it's noticeable that you pull from something else or another movie or whatever. And I'll have to talk to him about that later, because he's probably like, what is she talking about? But
I don't know.
This is one animal, and I'm like, Are y'all pulling from something?
I don't think so. If James Cameron heard you say that, he would probably punch you in your nose.
Oh my gosh.
That's how he acts.
Yeah.
So
he said he don't pull from anything.
No,
from
he just not. I'm just saying that's kind of how he comes across when it comes to his works.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I other than it being long and not necessarily a lot of explanation, that's my only dislikes. You don't have any other dislikes?
No, that's all.
Okay, so I guess we'll go ahead and get to our favorite part of the show, the rating.
I'm gonna give this movie a C because it is very long. It wasn't as capturing or captivating as I thought it would be. And like I said, some of the stuff I thought was redundant in the movie. So.
Okay, I think I'm gonna go ahead and disagree, and I'm gonna give this movie a solid B.
Okay.
As I said, I don't think it's as good as the first one, but of course the first one was the original, and I think the overlying story was what's the word I'm looking for? Was more captivating in the first story. I will say, based on what took place in this story, like I said, the second act and the third act, especially the third act, and it felt was more endearing because I am a parent, so I definitely identified with a lot of decisions and a lot of things that took place in the movie during that particular part of the movie. Mm-hmm. Like I said, the action is great. The movie is beautiful, to look at, and the story overall, and tying the main characters together, and why they do what they do, and it helps you overall have a nice picture of what family is and what that means to you as a person. All right, so if you want to go ahead and do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button. We'll definitely appreciate it, and it helps out the channel. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We definitely appreciate it. And you can go ahead and what am I supposed to say?
Videos
like this one. Yeah, you can see videos like this one. And if you want to go ahead and do us another favor, you want to go ahead and hit that button that's shaped like a bell. If you want to go ahead and do that, you'll get notification
every time we drop a new video.
And if you want to go ahead and do us one more favor, you want to go ahead and comment down below. And what should they comment?
What's the best James Cameron movie thus far?
Okay, good one. And a hard one. What is the best James Cameron movie so far? All right, we appreciate every single one of you. And I guess we'll holler at you.
Peace.